Hello, I'm back. PatchOneStripe.com TV replacement parts. Your one-stop shop for hard to find new TV replacement parts. We recently put out a traditional soldering video, and that kind of got me started. What I wanted to do, I got to thinking, well, I'll just introduce you to more than one way or more than one soldering process, since we on that particular topic right now. So today, what I have here is a FUI Infra Red Welder, and it's really cool because what it does is you have a preheater here for the board. This is your infrared light here. Got a fan, exhaust fan up there. But this preheater, what it does, it preheats the board. So when you get ready to really go ahead and release the component from the board and hit it with some infrared, it'll be a touchless process, and it won't take very long. This is a thermocouple, and it is attached to the board. Before we get started, I normally use some of this what they call Kapton tape. This is my other thermocouple, and I used it to keep up with the temperature of the component that I'm trying to either insert or I'm trying to take away from the board. Okay, and over here you'll see I use some aluminum tape. I use it to block off some of the other components that I don't want to be affected by the infrared light and, you know, heat it up unnecessarily. This is some liquid flux. Sometimes I use it to sort of run under the components like BGAs and help with the desoldering process. And it's just a bunch of little tweezers and scissors, and this is my little device I use to just pull the almost like an eyedropper, pull the flux out of the bottle and just put it onto the board. Over here, this is one of my most important parts, and that's personal protective equipment. So this, I use this when I'm doing this particular process, because a board, when you're going to heat up a board like that, number one, the board is made of epoxy. Number two, the board is made up of solder resist. The green coloring that you see over the traces, that's soldering resist. And you start heating up these different elements, and they're going to give off a little bit of a fume. And I'm the type of guy, I don't play with chemicals, I don't play with fumes, I don't take a chance with them at all. So I wear my little air mask over there, and I have good ventilation in the room when I'm using this particular piece of equipment. Like I say, it's a FUI Infrared Welder model T-87A. And over here, this is where I control my preheating for my board. A lot of times I try to preheat my board maybe up to about 125 C. And over here is my lamp temperature, and with this thermocouple, it registered the temperature of the component. And I also keep up with that because sometimes I don't want that temperature, depending on the component. I don't want it to go too high, and then I know I also don't want it to not get hot enough that I can remove or insert the part that I'm working with on a particular board at the time. So with that being said, I'm going to prepare a board, and I'm going to go through the process of desoldering several different components on different boards. I'll just go through the process, and you all just sit back, ride along with me. And another thing, you know, I'm just hitting the surface with this when you see the different things that I'm doing. When you get ready to remove a BGA or some of these other integrated circuit type, like chips and stuff like that, there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube that really take you in depth. I'm not gonna just take you that far. I'm just gonna go pretty much an introduction, and if you have interest in it, go for it. You know, I mean, that's how I learn things as well. Somebody shared things with me, or I just get a nudge in a certain direction, and I get busy doing my research. So with that being said, we're going to get on with the video. Now, I prepped this particular board to remove this BGA, ball grid array, electronic component. As you can see, I put some foil tape around the adjacent components because I don't want those to get hot. I don't want to desolder those. Over here, take a quick look. I'm gonna bump this. You can see I have my preheat set like 127. I like it like 125. So I preset it. And over here, for my on my range that I want to heat the component, I've set it at 230. So if I get busy doing things and trying to take it apart or something like that, I don't have to worry about the temperature of the component exceeding the temperature that's needed. So I have my thermocouple right here using a Kapton tape, excuse me. It's taped to the board itself. So right now I'm just monitoring the board temperature as it comes up into the range that I would like it to be before I hit it with the infrared light to go ahead and complete the process. That's plastic. No damage. So I see. That's the IC that I removed. Little small IC. Be a little bit more. It'll be a little bit more time consuming with that HDMI connector. But look at this chip. It's over there ready to go. Okay, we're done with the infrared welding or soldering process. I've desoldered several different types of components. The most fascinating one of all that's probably going to be for most of you guys looking at this is this soldering configuration here for this this BGA. And if you look, it's a bunch of little balls of solder there, literally hundreds probably. And if I was to replace this, the balls probably would already be on this microprocessor, and I just have to take my flux and desoldering wick and clean all this excess solder off the board. This is my alignment point right here, and put it in place, hit it, preheat the board, hit it with the infrared light, and you'd actually see it. Once it get hot enough, you'd see this BGA just sink down into place. And that was always pretty fascinating to me. Now, if you noticed, and I know you did, you had to see this, you had to see it. I desoldered this particular part, and I did this to show you this is plastic. The infrared light didn't melt it, didn't disfigure it, or nothing at all. And I found that out like through trial and error and trying to master my equipment. And that should be pretty fascinating as well. We desoldered this chip, and I mean, you saw how it came out with ease. You could you don't have all that brown residue and worry about tearing up your little soldering pads and your traces going to little small components like this, and that's always a plus. You take little transistors like this, you know, they came out with ease without really disfiguring the traces and the pads. Look at this little guy. He even had solder under the bottom of the chip. You can see it. And I just lifted him right on up. So it gives you some options on how far you could go. You know, a lot of times we want to get into the mode of just being board swappers, but I mean, we could get out there and really repair some boards with the right equipment and being familiar enough with the different components and know how to test them, see if they're good or bad, and the ability to replace them. Now, one thing I want to tell you, go back to this BGA here. I said microprocessor, but it's ball grid array. A lot of times when you run across these main boards for TVs, and you have this problem where everything else seems to check out, or the customer might say, well, it'll play for a while and then it'll stop, then I got to go back to it, you know, it'll cool off and I go back and it'll play. I could also use this piece of equipment to just heat this BGA up, and you're going to find them on computers, you're going to find them on your Xboxes, when you had that ring of death and all that kind of stuff. This piece of equipment right here, all you have to do is, we call it reflowing BGA. That's my term. And I'll just heat up the board, turn on the lamp, and let it just reflow these little balls down here. And a lot of time I've had some very good success, especially with computers and stuff and things like that. Computers, Xboxes, and with TVs, and with the main boards and the T-cons. Okay? And this was something I was just playing around with. You TV guys, you know what that is. That's a tuner. And it could be a booger sometime trying to get a tuner to release and everything. And you saw the ease in which I just lifted it straight on up. And you just look at this board. This board isn't tore up or nothing like that. You know, it's not at all. So this is just another form of soldering that's out here. You know, we get to looking at boards with these BGAs on them and stuff like that, and we get fearful. We get, you know, we see these new type boards with the components on it. We get fearful. We get scared. Like this, all we could do is just toss it. Well, you got people repairing this stuff. You know, if you can find a replacement part, you can repair it. You know, because this ways you just go ahead and align. Even this BGA, you do that alignment, and all these little dot connections, they're gonna fall right in place, and it'll work. So, thanks again for watching me. Subscribe, hit the bell, so when my next video comes out, you'll be alerted. Patch1stripe.com, TV replacement parts for your line of hard to find plasma parts, LED parts, boards, stands, LED strips, cables, screws, and I'm gonna start a line with just components as well, like your Schottky diodes and maybe fuses and some capacitors and just different things out here that people may want to need, may need for some of your. I'll have some vintage parts out here as well. So with that being said, we're going to conclude this video. Patch1stripe.com, TV replacement parts. Did y'all hear that? I heard something. That was Stripe calling, telling me to come home. We out of here.